y'all, it's Kim again. So this will be video 12 of the Ghislaine Maxwell deposition. Virginia Roberts Giuffre, whatever you want to call her. She actually sued Ghislaine for defamation, so that's what this is. Anyway, a bunch of obstruction, I don't recalls, that kind of stuff. Repeat the question. It's just been like crazy listening or just reading through how they're talking. Anyway, let's go on. So we're on page 286. It says, that's not what I'm asking. I don't recall every document that I gave you, so I don't know. I would have to look at every single document that I gave you and then review it. But as I recall, you have every document that I have. What are you planning to show the jury that would prove that Virginia was 17 when you met her? Again, that's privilege, so I can't share that with you. If you're showing the jury, it wouldn't be privileged. So is there a document you've produced in this matter that shows that Virginia was 17 at the time you met her? Mr. Pagliuca, she answered that question already. She said she doesn't know. She has given you everything. If there's a decision, assuming for the moment there is such a document, just hypothetically, and assuming for the moment that it is going to get produced somewhere, if it hasn't already been produced, obviously that would involve a waiver, a future waiver of the privilege. I think that's the answer to the question. Has a document been produced, or do you know? You have everything that I have given you. So if you can't, if it's not in those documents, I don't know what to tell you. Your lawyers haven't withheld any documents. They are right here. You can ask them. I'm asking you. I don't know what their lawyers. When we were talking earlier about redacted, I asked you whether he had ever given him a gift of a puppet. That's Prince Andrew. There was actually some documentary or something that I've seen, and it talked about him having basically a puppet that looked just like him. I don't know why his name will be taken out of here. I mean, unless it's just because he's not technically named in the lawsuit for this, but either way, I don't know why they took his name out. Or maybe it was requested by the royal family. Who knows? But it's kind of weird. But anyway, did you ever, not as a gift, did you ever see in the presence of redacted a puppet? Mr. Pagliuca, objection to the form of foundation. Can you be more direct, please? Sure. Were you ever in a room with Prince Andrew where there was a puppet? It's Prince Andrew. Anyway, Mr. Pagliuca, objection to the form of foundation. Can you be more specific, please? And can you bound it by time and be more specific, whatever you're actually asking me? Were you ever in a room with Prince Andrew in New York and Jeffrey Epstein's home where there was a puppet? Mr. Pagliuca, objection to the form of foundation. What sort of puppet are you asking me? Any kind of puppet. You need to be more descriptive. I don't know what you mean by puppet. There is hand puppets, all sorts of puppets. Is there any puppet you've ever seen in Jeffrey Epstein's home in the presence of redacted? I'll just leave it at that. Again, puppet, there's lots of types of puppets, any type of puppet. If you want to give me a description of a puppet, I would be perhaps be able to say, oh, it was on the BBC interview where I think she asked him the question about that. So go back and watch that BBC interview because it was supposed to be a puppet of him, of Prince Andrew. So any type of puppet. Can you be more detailed? Have you ever seen a puppet in Jeffrey Epstein's home in the presence of redacted? My understanding of a puppet is a small handheld item you have in a circus. I've never seen that. Have you ever seen a puppet, which is defined as a movable model of a person or animal that is used in entertainment and typically moved either by strings or controlled from above or by a hand inside it? Mr. Pagliuca, objection to the form of foundation. I've not seen a puppet that fits exactly that description. Have you seen any puppet that fits any description? Mr. Pagliuca, objection to the form of foundation. Can you re-ask the question, please? Yes. Have you seen any puppet that fits any description in the presence of Prince Andrew in Jeffrey Epstein's home? Mr. Pagliuca, objection to the form of foundation. I'm not aware of any small handheld puppet that was there. There was a puppet, not a puppet. There was I don't know, how would you describe it really? I don't know how you would describe it. Not a puppet. I don't know how you would describe it. A caricature of Redacted that was in Jeffrey's home. Did you use the caricature to put the hand of the caricature on Redacted's breast? Excuse me? Mr. Pagliuca objects to the form of foundation. I don't recollect. I recollect the puppet, but I don't recollect anything about the puppet. You characterize puppet. I characterize it as, I don't know, as a characterization of probably Andrew. Do you recollect asking Virginia Roberts to sit on Prince Andrew's lap with the caricature of Andrew? I do not recollect that. What do you remember about the caricature of the or Andrew or Prince Andrew caricature when you were in the presence of Redacted, Virginia Roberts, and Redacted? Mr. Pagliuca, objection to the form of foundation. I don't recollect the story as told by Redacted or Virginia. I don't even know who. I remember the caricature of Prince Andrew, and I remember Andrew, but I don't recall anything else around the caricature. Did you give it to him? I did not. Who gave it to him? I don't think it was given to him at all. Did he bring it? No. Was it something that was at the house? As best as I recollect, was it something that you saw at the house in advance or Redacted arrival? Again, I don't recollect the caricature. I recollect Prince Andrew. I don't recollect much else around the caricature. Was there a party going on in the house at the time you recollect the caricature? Mr. Pagliuca, objection to the form of foundation. You have to be way more specific. Do you remember you said you recollect this caricature? You recollect Redacted being there? Do you recollect a party going on at the time of that interaction with Redacted and the caricature? Mr. Pagliuca, objection to the form of foundation. I don't recollect a party. First of all, they weren't really parties. I don't recollect a party. I don't know what you mean by party in the context of that scenario. Who do you recollect being at the home during the time Redacted was there with this caricature? Mr. Pagliuca, objection to the form of foundation. I don't recollect myself with Redacted. I don't recollect anybody else. You don't recollect Jeffrey Epstein being there? Actually, no. You don't recollect Redacted being there? No. You don't recollect Virginia Roberts being there? No. It was just you and Redacted? I'm not saying it was just me and Redacted. You're asking me, do you remember? I only remember Redacted. I remember Redacted and the caricature, but I can't place a caricature and everybody else in the same context, the same time frame you're asking me. Basically, all that's Redacted. Mr. Pagliuca, objection to the form of foundation. Typically, there is no typical because there is no standard procedure, so I can't comment or testify to Redacted. Do you remember them being in the house? Not specifically. Do you remember if I take a bathroom? Do you mind if I take a bathroom break? The videographer is now 3:51 and we're off the record. Recess. The videographer, it's now 4:04. We're back on the record and we're starting disc number 7. Miss Maxwell, during that, what time period? I know you said, I believe you said you met Jeffrey in 1991. If I'm correct there, and you've known him through the present, during what time period within those years would you say your relationship was the closest with Jeffrey? Mr. Pagliuca, objection to the form of foundation. What do you mean by close? Sorry. I think earlier today you testified that at some point you considered yourself to be his girlfriend. Is that the closest you would say that your relationship was with him? If so, what time period was that? Mr. Pagliuca, objection to the form of foundation. I don't think I said I was his girlfriend. I would like to think of myself as maybe, I don't think sometime in the mid 90s. How close was your relationship? We were very friendly. Without going into details, was your relationship with him intimate? Yes. When was the last time you had contact with Jeffrey Epstein? What do you mean by contact? Either a phone call or email or anything of that nature. As best as I can recollect, when all sometime last year. So you haven't talked to him, like for example, last week you didn't talk to him? I did not. How many times have you had either direct or indirect, meaning in the presence of him or calling or emailing, contact with Jeffrey Epstein from December 30th, 2014 until now? I'm sorry, can you just either in person or by phone or by email from December 30th, 2014 until the present? I can't really characterize that much that, but not very much. There was a period when in January, when you filed your whatever you filed, where we spoke, and then since then, not much at all. Can you estimate how many emails you would have sent Jeffrey from the period of December 30th, 2014 to the present? Not very many at all. More than 20? I really wouldn't be able to characterize it because it wouldn't be that many. I wouldn't know. More than 50? It would be on the lesser side, not on the more side. Can you give me a number? I honestly couldn't. I would be guessing. How many emails has Jeffrey Epstein or Jeffrey sent you from the period December 30th, 2014 to the present? I would say less emails, even less emails than I sent him. More than 20? I would say on the lesser side. Lesser meaning 10? I really can't recall. It's very little. When you spoke with Jeffrey in January of 2015, what did he say to you? I really couldn't remember exactly what he said to me. Did you talk about Virginia Roberts? I'm sure we did, but I couldn't recall the exact conversation. Does Jeffrey Epstein send you text messages? No. Do you send him text messages? No. How many phone calls have you had with Jeffrey Epstein since December 30th, 2014? Again, very few, more than 5. Probably as many as the few emails that I would characterize. So just very few. I mean, a small number. Are you aware of any disagreement between your views about Virginia Roberts and Jeffrey's views about Virginia Roberts? Mr. Pagliuca, object to the form of foundation. I cannot speculate to his views. I can only testify on my views. Earlier, you went through the series of lies. Have you talked to Jeffrey about the lies, and does he agree with you? I've discussed some of the issues with him. I can't remember specifically which ones. I just don't recall. I'm sorry. Do you recall him telling you that he didn't agree with you on any of those? I don't recall him saying that. Do you have a joint defense agreement with Jeffrey Epstein? I believe I do. Do you have a joint offense agreement or defense agreement with Redacted? I don't believe I do. Earlier today, in your testimony, when I was asking you some questions, you said that you wouldn't answer, but that Jeffrey Epstein could answer that question. Would Jeffrey Epstein be in a position to confirm or deny some of the obvious lies that we've discussed today? Mr. Pagliuca, objection to the form of foundation. I can't possibly testify to what Jeffrey could or would say. I can't speak for him. Would Jeffrey be able to confirm or deny whether he had sex with Virginia Roberts? Mr. Pagliuca, objection to the form of foundation. I can't say what Jeffrey would say. Has he discussed that with you? He has not. Would Jeffrey be able to confirm or deny whether he had a sexual massage from Virginia that first time she came to his mansion in Palm Beach? Mr. Pagliuca, objection to the form of foundation. I cannot speak for what he would say. I can only speak for what I would say. So as I testified, everything that she said about that first meeting didn't happen. So has he told you that everything about that first meeting didn't happen? I know it didn't happen because she put me in that room. I understand you know, but has Jeffrey said, when you're talking about the obvious lies, oh yeah, that never happened? Mr. Pagliuca, objection to the form of foundation. I can't specifically recall that. I don't know, but he has to agree with me because it didn't happen. Can Jeffrey Epstein, would he be able to confirm or deny whether he had sex with underage girls? Mr. Pagliuca, objection to the form of foundation. I can't testify to what Jeffrey would say. Can Jeffrey confirm or deny whether Redacted was on Jeffrey's island? Mr. Pagliuca, objection to the form of foundation. I can't say what Jeffrey would say. I can only say what I know to be true. Has Jeffrey talked to you about the fact either Redacted was on his island or whether Redacted was on his island? As best as I can recollect, he said he was not on the island. As best as I can recollect. Can Jeffrey Epstein confirm whether he and Virginia Roberts were together in the presence of redacted? Mr. Pagliuca, objection to the form of foundation. I can't speak to what Jeffrey would say. Has he talked to you about Virginia's statements? Hold up. Has he talked to, I guess, to you about Virginia Roberts' statements that she was in the presence of redacted? Mr. Pagliuca, objection to the form of foundation. I've not discussed individual presences with Virginia. I'm only concerned with what I know to be the stuff about me. So my focus has always been the lies and the obvious lies as something I can personally attest to. I cannot possibly talk for anything else. Has Jeffrey Epstein said to you anything along the lines of Virginia's lying when she says she met redacted? Mr. Pagliuca, objection to the form of foundation. Again, I'm not talking about what she says as regards to other people. I can talk to things as regards to me. I'm asking if Jeffrey ever said that to you. I don't recollect specific conversations along those things. You don't recollect him saying that to you. I don't recollect him saying to me that Virginia didn't meet redacted. I'm sure that wouldn't be a conversation that we would have. It doesn't affect me whether. So I'm really only concerned about the lies that were told as regards to me. Can Jeffrey Epstein confirm or deny whether you sent Virginia to give redacted a massage? Mr. Pagliuca, objection to the form of foundation. I can't say what Jeffrey would say. I can tell you I didn't. I can't tell you what anybody else. Have you discussed with him Virginia's allegation that she gave redacted a massage? Mr. Pagliuca, objection to the form of foundation. I didn't know that she did say that. Do you know whether Jeffrey Epstein has ever sent anybody to redacted to perform a massage for him? Mr. Pagliuca, objection to the form of foundation. I couldn't possibly recollect whether he did anything like that. Did you ever send anybody, not Virginia, anybody else over to redacted home for a massage? Not to the best of my knowledge. Do you know one of redacted's friends by the name of redacted? I do recollect a person of that name. How do you know her? I can't recollect. Did you meet her through Jeffrey? I don't recollect. Do you recall when you met her? I do not recollect. How many times have you seen redacted in your life? The only reason why I remember is because it's an unusual name, but I couldn't tell you anything else. You didn't see her on a regular basis? She wasn't one of your friends? No. Was redacted a masseuse? Not to my knowledge. Do you have knowledge of whether she had a sexual relationship with Jeffrey Epstein? I have no knowledge of that. When was the last time you spoke with her? A very long, I have no idea. Would it be years? Yes. What do you mean about redacted? Nothing really. Do you remember what she looks like? I would just be speculating on how I remember. I couldn't describe her. Do you recall traveling with her? I don't. Did you ever go to her home? I don't believe I did. Do you know where she lives? I don't. Would you have met her through Jeffrey Epstein? Mr. Pagliuca, objection to the form of foundation. I already testified. I don't recollect how I met her, and I remember her because her name is very unusual. So what recollection do you have of her? Do you have a specific recollection of meeting her somewhere? You just don't know when that was, or how do you know that name redacted? Mr. Pagliuca, objection to the form of foundation. Okay, I'm going to stop it here. Well, let me do the answer. Okay, I don't know why the name is. I'm sorry, I have no idea. I recognize the name, but that's it. Okay, so we're going to stop it here. And then I'll probably just do some more recordings on this tomorrow. I want to move on to something else. This kind of gets bogged down. But anyway, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.